What's up, party people? Believe it or not, Dekaron actually released a decent event. And this is funny, I actually have not played Dekaron in about a month. It's been, there just really hasn't been any reason to play, hasn't been good. I even made a video saying that I don't recommend playing Dekaron, but, here I am making another Dekaron video, big surprise. But they released a new dungeon drive, and the dungeon drive events have been really bad recently. Like, the last four of them are just not even worth farming at all. And as you guys know, there was a Grace dungeon or dungeon drive event in the past that was super good, and then the one where you could farm the white candy earring wasn't as good as that one, but was still pretty good. So ever since then, though, they've just been terrible. Basically, those I don't know if those dungeon drives in the past were considered a mistake or what, but yeah, they've just been really bad. But this dungeon drive is actually worth farming, 100%. You can get some really cool stuff from it. There are graces. There are farmable graces, 15%, 20%, and 25%. While the drop rate isn't great, you can definitely get them. I've already gotten a couple myself, so it's fairly decent. And then you can get some fun stuff too, like you can get a wedding ring, which is much easier to get here than if you were farming it in the honeymoon dungeon, because that can take a super long time. You can also get a tier 6 spooklet, which is a max spooklet you can only get around Halloween, which is really good. And yeah, there's some other really cool stuff too, like a free plus 10 175 weapon and stuff like that. Anyway, I wanted to make a quick guide today to show you guys how to take full advantage of this event. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you some of the loot that I have gotten so far from this event. So yeah, let's get this party started. To start off, let's talk about the rewards and kind of what the event is. Basically, in this event, you go to various dungeons, and in these various dungeons, these classic treasure chests, or I'm sorry, classic stashes will drop from specific bosses. So in Norak Secret Arena, it's like the final boss and stuff like that, but we'll cover that a little bit more as we get going. But the rewards are actually really good. As you guys can see, you have the opportunity to get your hands on like a wedding ring, a spooklet, and there's also stuff to get like the MC1 and the MC2, which aren't really useful anymore, but they're kind of fun to get, along with stuff like, like the Seal of Destruction and some other items that you just don't really, see anymore, which I think was part of the idea. And then the lower drop rate rewards, like the Blacksmith Protector and the Graces, are really nice. And the other thing that's kind of cool is this Strongest Person's Weapon Exchange Box, which you will see me open up at the end of the video so you can see what's in there. I do want to point out that this event is only going until April 1st of 2021, so I definitely would say take advantage of this, guys. This is a very generous event, and I have a strong feeling there will not be an event like this in a while, just like the last time we got a good one. But yeah, let's just go through the dungeons here, and I'll tell you how to efficiently get the best rewards from each of these dungeons. Okay, dungeon number 1. Let's talk about Norak Secret Arena. This dungeon is located in the Norak Cave. You can get to it through any teleporter in our deck. I do have a guide for this dungeon, but it's extremely simple. Basically, you just go in, you run the dungeon, you kill the boss at the end, and the final boss, which is the alter ego, is what is going to drop your classic stash. You can do this dungeon for free up to 3 times a day, and I would definitely recommend doing so. It's easy to do on low-level accounts because it's basically the first dungeon in the game. So definitely one that you should be running on your main account and any alt accounts you have to kind of maximize your rewards. You can do additional runs with super passes if you are interested in purchasing those. Up next, we have the Python Dungeon, located in Doomed Maze. I also have a guide for this dungeon on my channel, and I'll put guides for any of these dungeons that I have in the description of the video, just so you guys know. This dungeon is probably one of the best ones, just because you can get 2 stashes per run, which is really nice. Basically, the final boss and then either of the mini-bosses drop the chest. So I recommend taking the bottom path and running through and killing the Victor Gordon, I believe is his name, and then going and killing Duix Marvel afterwards. I think this is probably the fastest way to run through the dungeon. The other route, you have to collect keys and stuff, and it takes a little bit longer. So I would just take the bottom route, run past all the enemies, and just kill the mini-boss, and then kill the final boss, and you very easily get 2 classic stashes from this run. Keep in mind, too, this dungeon can only be done once per day, but you can also get camouflages and do it an additional 3 times, so up to 4 times a day. And I want you guys to remember that camouflages can be bought for Seed of Dreams from NPC Jack in our Deca. It's 20 Seed of Dreams for 1 camouflage. It's really easy to get, so there's no reason to not be running this dungeon 4 times a day. Dungeon number 3, Favel's Nest. This dungeon is very similar to Python Dungeon, except you're only going to be getting 1 drop per run. The mini-bosses in this dungeon do not drop the classic stash, so I'd recommend skipping the path to the left or to the right and just running straight forward and fighting the dragon, and you will get your drops from that. This dungeon is a little bit harder, obviously, than Doomed Maze, so, you know, your alt accounts might have a harder time with it, but I'm pretty sure jump characters could still handle Favel. If you do want to make it easier, you can take a side route, because it'll make the final boss easier, because you get the buff, but if you can just run straight and kill the dragon, it's going to be a lot faster. Just like with the Python dungeon, you can do this once per day, and then an additional 3 times if you have camouflages. Umbar's counterattack. This is kind of a weird one, to be honest with you guys. I don't plan on doing this one. I'm pretty sure you have to do some kind of like weird quest sequence in order to unlock the daily dungeon for this boss or something. Honestly, it's been such a long time since I've even thought about this guy. I don't even remember how to do it. If it's easier than that and someone wants to tell us how to do it in the description, that would be totally fine. Or if you watch one of my old Dekaron Done Right videos, I think it's like episode 13 or something like that, it shows how to do this, but I am not going to be bothering with this guy, and I don't think I would recommend for you guys to either. The last dungeon that drops these stashes is the Novis Temple, or the Novis Temple. This is located in Crespo, and I also have a guide for this if you guys want to check it out. This dungeon takes a little bit longer to do and can only be done once, otherwise you have to use super passes, and given that super passes are a premium item, I don't really plan on doing this more than once a day. And honestly, the dungeon is kind of long. I don't even think I'm planning on doing it once a day. Even at that, like I don't see myself doing this one. I just don't feel like it's worth it. I will probably just be sticking to Norak Secret Arena, Python Dungeon, and Favel's Nest. I also want to mention here really quick that you can actually get an additional stash in this dungeon if you kill the optional boss, which is done by farming those 3 pieces. It's like the thread and the needle and something else. I can't even remember. I do cover it in my guide, though, if you watch my guide. I think the extra effort probably isn't worth it, and I still don't think I'll be doing this dungeon. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the rewards that I've gotten so far from this event. Alright, guys, this event has only been out for a couple days, but I already feel like I've gotten tons of really good rewards from it. And I don't have all the rewards that I've gotten on this account, but I've already gotten myself like a wedding ring, and I know on my Alokan I've already gotten like 2 wedding rings, and I've gotten some of these, you know, these old accessories that are kind of fun. I've gotten my hands on a couple blacksmith protectors. I've gotten some 15% graces, which is pretty cool. You've got your Seal of Destruction, which is kind of a fun old PvP item. It's not super useful anymore, but it's still kind of fun to get. I've also gotten some boxing gloves, some sandal boxes, lots of boxing gloves, as you can see here, and just some other random stuff. Season 2 Cordis Endo Novis ring. It's kind of fun that they added this one back in. It's actually not very good, but they just added in a lot of these old accessories just kind of as like a collection thing. I think, you know, people would have fun getting those, and they did mix that in with good rewards, so I do like that about this event. It's a mixture of useful and kind of just fun items to get. Now, the other thing that I got that I think is probably one of the coolest rewards, or the most fun rewards from this event, is the strongest the strongest person's weapon exchange box. And I bet a lot of people are wondering what's in here. And I'm going to show you guys. Actually, what is in here is a 175 plus 10 weapon, which is kind of cool. So actually, these are going to be running around on both servers now, and I think it'll be really nice for newer players because it'll be fairly inexpensive to get your first plus 10 items. So this is a nice thing to inject into the economy, in my opinion. I'm also curious to see how good it is compared to the free plus 7 weapon you get from the event, and we'll be testing that out here in just a second here on my random Seg account. So let's go ahead and open this up. So, strongest person weapon exchange box, female. I'm on a signal, so I'm going to open the female box. And then we are going to go here. We're going to hit yes. And the Custos, I believe, is the blood whip. But as you can see, you can get a 175 plus 10 ultimate, basically any weapon you want for any class. So we're going to get the blood whip. So let's go ahead and open that up. And there is my blood whip, which is pretty cool. I don't have a lot of accessories and stuff on this account, so I don't know how much this will benefit, but I was curious to see how good it was compared to, like, you know, the plus 7 weapon that you get for free. So we're going to test that out right here. I think what I'll do is I'll just use my detonate edge attack. We'll test the damage, and we'll see what the difference is after I switch that weapon on. You know, just having a little bit of fun with this. So, we're going to go ahead. We are going to use Detonate Edge. Obviously, guys, this account isn't geared. We're not expecting crazy damage. This is just for fun. So we're hitting about 80k with the plus 7 Heffron Blood Whip. And we can also look at the stats here. We're at like 14k, 15k. And when we throw this guy on, because this guy also has Vid and Curse Attack and stuff. So we're going to throw this guy on, and actually the attack is lower. So actually this might not be as good as the Elite Heffron weapon, but this would also scale better if I had, you know, more like, if I had like a perp and stuff like that, but I don't. Anyway, we'll see if with the VIT and stuff I actually end up hitting higher or lower. So we go with Detonate Edge, and I'm hitting 81.9k. So actually this weapon is slightly better than the Elite Heffron weapon, just because probably of the VIT bonus. So yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a fun thing for people to get. I also personally, I've always liked how the plus 10 or the old plus 10 ultimate items look, so you know, you guys can enjoy that as well. Anyway, guys, that's kind of all I have to say about this event. It actually got me to log in and play a little bit. I thought it was kind of cool. I have to give my kudos to the Dekaron team for this event. It's the best one in a while in terms of like actually being rewarding for players. Yeah, so yeah, I plan on doing this on probably like 2 or 3 accounts every day, just until the end of April. Just hopefully, I want to try to load up on some graces, and then maybe try to make like a plus 10 item or something like that. But some of the other stuff you get is fun as well. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this event. Let me know what you guys have gotten from this event. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Until next time, take care.